St. Louis is home to one of only 12 Federal Reserve banks across our country, and our town carries a special position as a financial hub in shaping our nation's economics. It's a hot topic with all of the interest rates, but did you know that the current national banking system is the third version in American history after failed multiple attempts across generations? Well, yes, we are talking about it today. It's our history moment with celebrity historian Raffi Andonian. Raffi, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey there, money.
It talks, money talks, that's right.
Politics and money and economic policy have been intertwined since the beginning. That was funny, I was thinking about putting a green bow tie on to represent money today, I know. But as I was in the bathroom, I was talking to one of the crew members while I was putting up and checking out my beauty and crafting the bow tie, and I noticed that it was pink, and he said, well, you know, vibrancy is money. And I was like, oh, that's kind of true actually, but get this. See, in the early days, in the 1780s, vibrancy is not how I would describe the money situation of the U.S. So it wasn't exactly like my pink bow tie. It was quite turbulent. And as a result of that, we get the first national bank. The first national bank is basically with Alexander Hamilton, who we've all heard of because of the musical in recent years, yes, and he's trying to take the national bank and, without getting too far into the details, to stabilize the Revolutionary War debt and stabilize the economy. And opposing him is Thomas Jefferson, who sees a more agrarian society. And in an agrarian society, a lot of those farmers are often in debt, and he doesn't want to be beholden to the commercial classes. There's a great line, you know, in the Hamilton musical, right? From the Hamilton says to Jefferson in the debates, he goes, Thomas, that was a very nice declaration. Now step inside to the modern nation. We're trying to run a real nation. Remember that whole song? It represents that debate, which still goes on to this day. But that debate, despite that, in 1791, the first bank is established, but there's only a 20-year charter. It's not permanent. And the reason that matters is because by the time we get to 1811, Hamilton, our boy, who's on a $10 bill, of course, which I think is kind of fitting that he's on a $10 bill, considering that he's kind of the daddy of this whole thing. But when we get to 20 years later, Hamilton, in a duel, of course, he's already long dead. So he's out of the picture. And guess what? The charter expires because they feel good about the economy. But the War of 1812 comes after that, right? 1811 expires, 1812, the war starts, and guess what? Naval blockade means that you can't export your goods from the United States. That means that they go plunging into another depression. Now there's pressure to go on to get a second national bank, so they bring a second national bank. And here is a moment where it gets really crazy. Because when they established the Second National Bank again, and now it has a fresh 20-year charter, now we come to the presidency of Andrew Jackson. He's on a $20 bill, which I think is always really funny because of the fact that he hated paper money. He liked this stuff. He liked gold. He liked silver. He liked hard money. And he hated credit. But here's what's great about that. Henry Clay that's right. And it's funny that he's on paper money. It's just weird. But Henry Clay, former Secretary of State, at one point the Speaker of the House, and he is also a senator at that point. Because the 20-year charter is about to expire, he forces the issue and he says, let's take a vote on renewing the charter because he's about to run against Andrew Jackson. Guess what? Jackson vetoes the bill. He says, we're not renewing the bank. This sets off a huge uproar in the election. Henry Clay goes on to lose the election. Jackson wins. He sees it as a mandate to dismantle the bank even in advance of expiring the charter. So he takes federal deposits, puts them into the states. It's questionable if it's even legal at that point. He goes through 3 secretaries of the Treasury to make it happen. And then you would think now that the bank is dead in 1836, it's over, right? No national bank. Wrong. 5 years later, Henry Clay, our boy, the senator, comes back into the picture. And now he has President Tyler, who's of the same party, the Whig Party. So this time he thinks that if I set forth the thing to actually bring the bank back, we'll get it. We'll get the bank back, right? And Tyler vetoes it. Despite the fact that he initially had opposed what Jackson did by vetoing, he himself flip-flops, vetoes it against his own party. And that happened today in 1841 on August 16th. And you know what that leads to? This is the drama moment.
This is the drama.
What that leads to is a mob shows up outside of the White House, starts shooting guns into the air, starts getting the effigy of President Tyler, John Tyler, burns it, throws rocks at him as he's walking around the White House. One of them hits him in the head. And despite that, he refused to press charges, but he did get hit. He literally was attacked. And that's the reason that the modern police force in Washington, D.C. exists, is because because of those protests. It's because of that crime, that violence that happened all over the war over the bank. It's called a bank war. And so as a result, actually, our friend Clay, he eventually died, and 80 years later is when we finally get the third version of a national bank.
My gosh.
So it died and stayed dormant because of those violent riots that we're talking about today, outside of the White House, some of the most violent ever.
This is nuts. Everything that I heard was we have our bank systems because of money and war. In St. Louis, if you're interested in learning more about some amazing history, whether locally, regionally, nationally, or internationally, you can follow Raffi Andonian or visit him online at celebrityhistorian.com. You can show him some love on Instagram and on YouTube. Raffi, thank you so much. In St. Louis, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.